showing this is last week's notes. And so we had Srikanth come from Microsoft Research, and he presented the whole in-network transformations for us. And he would like to come back at some point and get some more feedback or conversation with you guys, if you guys don't mind. What did you guys think? Was that something interesting to you guys to talk about?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And then, of course, Christian gave us some clarification about range match, and then we also closed 5 PRs during the week. We didn't get to go over them in the meeting, but we did do that. So here are the full notes where our in progress list is getting pretty big. I have a few that I think they're ready to merge. I'm not sure, so we can maybe talk about them today. Full notes, and then I did upload the slides to the GitHub here, so it should be in your email if you'd like to see Srikanth's slides, and then I kind of pasted them here. Is this format okay with you guys for meeting notes still? Would you prefer links or anything?
Well, it's nice just to see it.
It's nice to have it right in front of you. Okay, cool. All right, and then I also tucked in the behavioral model work group that we talked about because Riff was kind enough to present the HSI APIs, the high-level concepts, blah, blah, blah. So we did that there in behavioral model. So that was last week. For anyone who couldn't attend, if you have any questions about last week, let us know. And then I was curious if you guys had items you wanted to talk about this week. I had a couple that I went through the list and I marked it. I created a new tag called ready to merge because I'm not sure if they're ready or not. So I thought I would ask.
Yeah, I have 2 pull requests to talk about, but unfortunately I'm on the other meeting for the first half.
Yeah, we'll do it. You can come back.
Yeah, because of the time shift in the time zones, I have a conflict the first half an hour. I will come back in the second half.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yep. So I wonder if that would be this one. Yeah, that's Marian. And
yeah, Marian has 2 PRs, both about like this DSCP.
Yeah, found them.
Yep,
got them.
I have reviewed it. It should be like really straightforward. I have signed off those changes. Yep.
Cool. So we'll talk about those when he comes back if we're here for a whole half hour. And then this one by Ashutosh, I was curious if this one's ready to merge. It kind of looked like it was, but maybe Ashutosh, could you tell us maybe a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's ready to merge. I was looking at the issue 345 for inbound routing. So I tried to figure out why the tests were failing. And so while debugging those, I found a bunch of other things. So I decided to fix them into one PR. So so there's like quite a few things here. The first one is a simple name change, like the action name change. So I had to make the same change in the test cases and other places to match with it. So it's just a swap. The second one is that we have this Jinja template for generating libsci or Sci APIs. And when I was doing this ternary match, I was debugging this issue. I found that in one case, the key for ternary match was not getting generated. And that was the case when if the key is a struct instead of an object. So I think that case was missing in the Jinja file. So I fixed that. So now it generates the correct Sci API for ternary matches. This one is again the bunch of fixes for the test. And some of them has to do with the quirk of P4 runtime, where if you specify a key and a mask for a ternary match to P4 runtime, P4 runtime expects that the masked fields in the key to be 0. For example, if you have a /24 mask, it will expect that the key has last byte to be 0. So if you do something else, it fails. And I think that was probably one of the 2 reasons why the test was failing. So I fixed that in the test. I can walk through the code. Yeah. We can also look through the code to see what I fixed. So the one you're seeing right now on the first screen is the template I fixed for the ternary match key.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's one. And then if you go back to summary, I can talk about other things, or we can go through the code also. Is fine either way. We can just scroll through the PR and see what
Okay.
was fixed where. Yeah. Right. So yeah, so this one is that IPv4 checksum calculation for encapsulation. So when we add the new VXLAN or NVIDIA encapsulation, we were not adding IP checksum. So I put that in the P4 code. And most of our tests were basically written to ignore the checksum, but some of them were not. So some tests were failing because of that. So I added the checksum calculation in P4, and in the tests which were bypassing checksum calculation, I fixed those tests. So all the tests should now calculate and check for correct IPv4 checksum.
Thank you.
This one, yeah, if you just go a little bit up, that was another issue that in the P4 code, in the VXLAN flag field was set to 0, even though it should be 8. So there's a bit called I bit or instance bit. That bit should be set in the VXLAN header if we have a VNI. So that was also a bug. Again, some of the tests were checking for 0 and some were checking for 8. So I fixed the P4, so it's 8 in P4, and also the tests are expecting the correct value now.
Anyone jump in if you have questions while we're going through.
And this is just a name change because
Okay,
action name
great.
change in P4, so it's just
Sure. Just name change.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I should ask, are the name changes like automatic, like generated, or you are manually changing like this?
So the
Yes.
tests have to manually change. So this is actually a
Okay.
test plan. So the SAI APIs were generated automatically,
I see.
but the
Got it.
tests are not. This tests were all manually written. So all the fixes are basically in the tests.
I see. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, these are again the same name change only in the test files. Yeah, I mean, if you go through some of the other ones, like above there, you might see that like side-eni.py. Yeah, so these are the ones where I had to fix the issue with the P4 runtime, because P4 runtime was for some reason checking for the mask and key to be consistent. And then if you look at down there, like line 56 and 57, that's where the tests which were bypassed, I have enabled them. So the create inbound routing entry and create PA validation test. So those are enabled now, and they're passing. Now there are a bunch of other inbound routing related tests in the sci-vnet.py, sci-vnet.py. They're still failing and they still need a similar fix. But the reason I didn't fix it is because of this discussion we had on inbound routing table a couple of weeks ago, where we decided that the source address is not actually needed. So I was thinking we should, if we remove that source IP from the key, then we don't have to, then we have to actually go and delete that key from the test itself instead of trying to fix it. So a bunch of other tests which are failing because of that can be fixed once we agree on that. So we have another issue open, and I think Prince is here, right? So we can talk about
Prince
it.
is
So
here.
yeah. So this again the same thing we're saying in the VXLAN flag. I fixed the flag to be 8, which is what it should be. And then I removed the line which was forcing the checksum to be 0 in the expected packet. So now the expected packet will have correct checksum. So I think most of the fixes are basically along the same lines. It's basically the same thing. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any questions from you guys before I go ahead and merge?
No.
No, it looks like a lot of good scrubbing. Thank you.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Hajit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just go ahead and do that.
So I have another PR which is just a typo. So I think
yep.
That's
I
just
saw
a simple
that.
typo. So
It was right here.
yeah, it's just NVIDIA to VXLAN copy paste typo. So
Yeah. I'm okay with that. You guys, everyone else okay? Well, we've got Marian. He's not here, but should be okay, yeah, Ref?
Yeah, if it's straightforward like typo fixes, then it feels really good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Thank you, Ashutosh.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I did notice that here we have update the doc for Sonic Dash Virtual Switch, and I noticed Kumaresh is here. I thought he was here. Maybe he left.
So yeah,
and,
so I can like briefly explain this one.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. So basically, this like the Sonic Dash Virtual Switch is basically what we are doing is that we have the behavior model right now in P4, and so we have all this all the the unit tests, and then in Sonic, what we usually do is that we have the the management test that actually runs. So we'll have all this like how to say, like we call like DUT, right? So as a test bed to run all the tests. So the purpose of this one is actually create an image that will actually do the yep, this is the KVM. So basically the creating image then loads the BMV2, then loads the dash pipeline into that image, so we can actually use an image or KVM to emulate the DPU. So once we have that, we can actually then integrate with other things. For example, use the KVM as to run this, any of the Sonic management tests. So if any like dash test, currently in the Sonic management, supposedly in the end we can actually run it here as well. We also use this one to form like even more complicated like topology, for example, to emulate like SmartSwitch. Where all we need is just like another KVM or something else to fill in the switch part and then get them connected. And this is how the internally the image looks like. So we'll see like the where the BMV2 pipeline is, and then there is a data plan app that fill in the flow manipulation part. And so this is on a high level like how the architecture looks like. And I think there are also like modules explaining like what modules it is. So because of the time zone issue, the Ze is going to because Ze is like in China. Because of the time issue, like the morning meeting is usually like too late for him. So we are going to in this week's Smart Switch group meeting. So this week is a night meeting. So we're going to like present this like HLD in a Smart Switch group meeting. So yeah, at that time, like they will present like share like more details. I'll leave the the real presentation to him. So this is on a high level like why we are doing this.
And remind me, this week, is it the morning meeting or is it the evening meeting?
It is the evening meeting in relevant time zone.
Okay, I'll come to that. Okay, and if you guys haven't seen it, you can go sign up for the SmartSwitch Linux Foundation group, and then you'll get emails like this that'll put it on your calendar to come or go to the event or things like that. So you said this week is evening. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So Riff, for this HLD, do you think is this all, or are we going to add more details on this? Why I'm thinking is like if it's going to be, if it has to be like an HLD of its own, is what I'm thinking. Like if you folks are going to add a lot more content to this.
This one, yeah, they just shared this one like out, like just send the PR out like last night. So this is also my first time to see this PR. I haven't left any comment, haven't
Yeah, I just saw it this morning.
Very primitive version. Where we should put this HLD, like we haven't even discussed it. I was just like saying that like if we because we like to present to the community, right? And it will be nice to actually have a official doc that put in somewhere, so we can actually like go through it. But
right, I think currently the contents are not too significant, so we can still accommodate it in this talk. But if it is going to be like a lot more, then maybe it's good to have a link to a new document. So yeah, I think
I feel like we should have a like the dedicated doc. Otherwise, like this HLD will become like way too long.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah, again, like currently what's added is not that significant, so it's still okay. But I will let you folks decide. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. I think that's a very good comment. Thanks, Prince.
Prince Rip, I have comment on the dash-sonic-hld. So currently we have two documents, one in the Sonic repository, one in the Dash repository. So which one is most up to date, and which one should we use? What is the difference
So the
between them?
Dash one is more up to date. I think because we have a bunch of SmartSwitch documents also in the Sonic repo, and the Sonic community require the code to be like the code implementation to be associated with an HLD in Sonic. That's why we put the HLD there. But I totally understand the confusion here. But at this point, we are still working on the Dash Sonic HLD, and I think I will do some sync from this to the other repo so that it's aligned. Yeah, but I think we can continue to work on this doc. Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. It's kind of getting exciting here.
Yeah.
Yep. Then once we have it, what's that?
We're making enough headache for you guys.
Yeah. Now we just got to get some flows onto the DPUs and see what happens. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think this one is really helpful because we don't need the real hardware here, right? Like it's a simulator. Yeah.
So. Yeah, because we have all the behavior model, so all the tests that we run, even though the hardware is not ready, we can prototype with the virtual switch. So then it will be really nice to have, I feel.
And what is the DPU in this architecture?
Could be anything, couldn't it?
So basically this one is a DPU. This is a DPU VM.
So it's a simulated.
Okay, so it's a simulated DPU.
Yeah.
Virtual. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically simulated simulated Sonic that runs on the DPU.
Okay, because the name of this section is Virtual Switch, so this is why it's probably a bit confusing.
Like I said, I haven't sent any comment yet, so
Would there be a better name, Sasha?
It's like virtual DPU, probably, if it's architecture to describe DPU.
Okay. I'm going to take a note there. I can make a request for modification then. Would that be okay with you, Riff, if I make a request for modification to the PR?
Oh yeah, feel free. Like,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it will be really nice to have all the comments. And
okay.
If anyone has any feedback, feel free to leave comments or let us know. It will be really appreciated.
Yeah. So from here, let me just look at the other request here. So these are Marian's. We have this. Riff, did we need this one reviewed? Remove original overlay IP from NCAP data. Reuse existing fields.
Yeah. So for this one, I think we can Marian offline, and from what I see, those fields are redundant. So I think with Marian offline, Marian says that it probably like gets assigned like twice in two different places. So and I think Andy also says it's okay, like functionally wise, or probably build wise, it's okay, it's already passed. So I think we sounds like we already got two, like both of them agreed. So yeah, if it is like redundant, then I think it is okay to remove. So, yeah. But probably
so go ahead and
get time to click the button.
So you want to wait for Marian then?
I think it's fine because offline we communicated already.
Okay.
So yeah, if you like to merge, I think it's okay now.
Well, I would just because you know, if it's ready to go for the most. I mean, it's not like we can't back it out.
Only, yeah, we have the two owners. They both say it's good, then I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so while we're waiting for Marian, did you guys have other PRs or issues you wanted to address? What I've been doing here in the project plan. So we have all this to do, right? And I've tried to take Ashutash's feedback that we need to determine whether something's a limitation in P4 or whether, you know, it's a behavioral model. So I've made a few tags there. And then when I have questions during the week, I'll just, you know, have like, is this ready? Is this not ready? Just to prep for this meeting. And so we have quite a lot of in progress as well. And then I think I can filter. We don't care about the done, although our list of done is huge, though. I don't know if you guys have gone through and seen this, but we have a huge list of, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, lots of things that we've gotten done. So, yeah. So, since we don't have Marian back and I don't want to keep you guys, did anyone have one they wanted to cover?
Yeah, that inbound routing thing, is Prince still here? Can we close on that? Do we want to remove that from the key? Okay. I can give it a shot. I mean, I can at least change it from, remove it from P4 and see if I can update the tests.
What do you think, Prince?
The inbound routing. I think at this point, what is the change that we require?
We just need to remove the source IP from the match key.
Oh, source IP from the match key.
I think probably it is better to wait a little bit for the change. That's what I feel. The reason is that we actually have a few pipeline updates, like incoming pipeline updates. So we are like currently like discussing it internally, and once all of the things are actually, you know, gets landed, it probably will be better to do them in batch. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it probably would be
probably
too early to make changes on that. Like, let's have the like few more discussions and then like proposals on the pipeline and then finalize that.
Yeah. Otherwise, it could go like back and forth. Then will be really bad. I think it probably will be nice to get it in one shot.
Yeah, I think again, like we need to update the HLD to correspond to the P4, right? Like, so it's an effort on both documentation and the P4. So once we have everything finalized or updated, then we can revisit that. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. I'll just wait. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Ashutosh.
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
volunteering. Thank you. Hi, Chi. I haven't seen you in a while. Did you have one you wanted to cover, Chi?
No, from
Nope. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you came anyway. It's good to see you. So we can either wait 3 minutes or so and wait for Marian, or I can let you guys go. What do you think?
Yeah. So I can probably if Marian is still busy, I can actually explain those PRs, those two PRs. Yeah.
Okay, great. So 535 at valid only tick.
Yeah. So this one, if you click the file change. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, I think it is fairly straightforward. What Marine is trying to do is that in a DSCP, there is a two mode. There is a pipeline pipe mode. There is preserve mode. And only when we are in pipe mode, the DSCP value should be set. Otherwise, it should be ignored. So here, in a site, what the site usually does is that it has this like valid only restriction to say, okay, then that attribute will only be valid when certain attribute is set to something. So it's like a condition. And then, Christian, do you mind to scroll down a little bit to see the P4 code?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
This P4 code?
Yep, there you go. Thank you so much.
Yep.
So what this does is then Marian added a valid only attribute to say, okay, the DHCP will only be set whenever the SciENI, the dash tunnel DHCP mode sets to the packet model. So then will eventually be translated to the Sci API like the comment and with the valid only tag, and that's basically what this template does. So it looks very straightforward. That's why I was just like directly sign on.
Great. Do you guys agree for a merge here? The rest of you guys?
I have just one question. So,
sure.
Riff, we are right now we are not gonna use this in our first phase, right? The DSCP.
The DSCP is a requirement like submitted a long time back. So it is basically think about then the DSCP. We use DSCP for a lot of things, like for example, overflow packet captures, right? So if DSCP is not supported, there's no way to do packet captures at all. If any packet then goes through the DPU and then DSCP, the bits get dropped, that will cause like serious impact to the debugging.
Is this something controller needs to set, or is it something that you are setting by default on every NIC?
So that part, I think we can discuss that. But the DSCP value itself, it just follows whatever the current style model. So it's not something new.
See, the reason I'm asking is because DSCP in Azure has a certain meaning. So today we never let VMs send out any packet with the DSCP markings.
This is the outer packet. This is the outer packet. This is not the VNet packet.
Okay. So outer packet, yeah. So
this is outer.
Sure. But for inner packet, we actually do allow some customers to do set it, like Teams, and there are a few other customers that we do allow. So there is a control plane objects that do specify which DSCP markings we need to let the VM set, and we don't reset them throughout their journey to the destination. So let's make sure that if we like, just keep in mind that there is actually a valid DSCP scenario in Azure as well, and whether these both are compatible or not.
So I think for that one we can discuss offline. Right. Yeah. If we have any like requirements we need to add, like
right now it's not, because these are like the gateway bypass scenario. So maybe right now it's not a requirement, but at some point we will have it.
Yeah, I think in the HLD we have the section for DSCP behavior. Maybe Sushant, you can take a look and see if that conforms to the requirement.
Okay. Yeah, but that Azure DSCP is mostly on the inner packet, whether we let customers.
No, this is totally about the NCAP.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Now you guys got me curious. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. So here 3.3.6 here, Sushant. So we do have this documented here.
Okay.
Sushant, feel free to look at it. Yep. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Outer packet, I'm not worried about. I mean, those are platform packets. We can choose to do whatever we want with them. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty much this trend. Fairly straightforward. If no other comments, probably can just merge it. Yeah.
Okay.
Any big issues?
Okay. I'll do those. Okay. Thank you. So
the other PR. Maria has a second PR.
Sorry, I'm clicking around here.
I'm here, by the way. If you.
Yeah, we see you.
Oh,
we were just kind of talking while we were waiting for you. Yeah.
Okay, so we just went through the valid tag, but yeah. Yep, I'll mute myself. Thank you.
Yeah, so maybe to provide just a small background why I raised those two pull requests. There is a pull request in SAI, which is a result of already existing behavioral model. I can share that, Christina, if you want. Yeah, so over here, what we have is, this is the SAI APIs that would be generated with the today's dash definition. So it's talking about the, as Prince and Riff said before, it's about the outer DHCP. So it is the control over the tunnel DHCP mode. So this is the scope that this is limited to. We're not talking about the inner one yet, unless we will have any let's say requirement to change that as well. So this is only about the outer, and these APIs actually, first thing that we found is since the CP mode will always be set to something, either by default, it will be like the expected default behavior is actually to preserve the value. If you do decap, then ncap, preserve the value. But then control plane can also set pipe model, meaning that you pass a value with this attribute. So I noticed that having this invalid mode, which is just a placeholder, is not needed. So one of my pull requests just removes this one, and everything else stays intact because it's not supposed to be used. There is a default, which is this one, and it is set in the behavioral model like that explicitly, and then you can manipulate it. And second one is just enhancement to the SAI APIs, as it was pointed out in the comment to this pull request, is that you should only set the CP value if your DCP mode, DCP tunnel mode is pipe, because otherwise it's also meaningless. So we added this tag to make SAI APIs more precise. And that's what these two pull requests are doing. So once they are merged, we will have a better version of this pull request that allows, or does not allow you to make unnecessary mistakes when using these APIs. There are only modes and values that are actually going to be required to be set. Nothing that would lead the implementation to be in some kind of undefined state or behavior or anything like that. So that's why we have these two pull requests.
Got it. So you're okay if I merge those then now, Marian, after we've had the explanation?
Well, if anyone else wants to review them, that would be great as well.
I think, Riff, you said you took a look, right?
Yep, looks very straightforward to me. So I signed off already. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not sure if anyone else like to review.
Anyone else want to be a reviewer? Then I'll go ahead and merge. Hi, Camille. I didn't see you join.
Hi, Krishna. I just joined. Sorry, I forgot.
No, you're good. Hello. Thanks for coming. I think that's really all we have for today, unless there is something else you guys want to talk about. I should mention, I said at the beginning of the call, but Srikanth really enjoyed his time with the community here last week, the guy from MS Research, and he was talking about that in network compute, and he would like to be able to come back some other time and talk to you guys if you guys are all willing. So just FYI around that. And that's all
here. I have a question.
Sure.
For the first official release of Dash, let's call it 1.0 or whatever number we have, which is kind of the feature set? Can you specify? I mean, we got those 6 use cases that we got initially with the router, the VNet to VNet, and so on, are all 6 part of the first release? And the other question is, I see like bring your own data plane and all new HLDs coming. Will this be part of first release, or if we can have like I don't know, releases schedule, not necessarily dates, but a kind of a release time, release buckets of features will be good for that. So we know what's in the first one, second, third, so on.
Sure. So I think, we started out with VNet to VNet, and I think where we thought we were going was the next one, and Sushant, this is in reference for a little bit of history there. And then our next set was, of course, high availability and express route service and service tunnel private link. We were going to work on those. And so are you talking features outside of these that need to be coded?
No, these, but which ones are coming in the first, let's say, public release? Where will the line be drawn for the first public release? Like bring your own data plane. It's in the first public release or not? It's the security gateway in the first public release or not?
I would not.
VNet, we know we're already there. Basically, it's already working. So.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything on security gateway quite yet. Sushant, do you have does your team have anything on security gateways or terminations?
Not right now. Right now, we are only focused on PL gateway bypass as the first thing. And after that, immediately after that, we do want to make progress on bring your own data plane, because we do need that for PL NSG.
Bring your own data plane. Yeah. Is there any way you could give?
So that's I think what Mr. is saying is that we actually need a release control, right, to very explicitly, shows them what are the plans. So for example, for each HLD, for each like the feature request. Yeah, let's think offline and get the release control created. I think that's the whole purpose. Yeah, we don't
like a roadmap.
Yep. Because initially we get like seven scenario published. Right. We also have like more HLDs coming, for example, like HA. Right. And HA, I believe it is kind of like required if you want to put it in the prod. So that's the thing. Like we need to making sure like the from the release perspective, and also this release doesn't really need to align with the ad release as well, because this one is like development release, right? This is the API releasement. Once the API is ready, we can say, okay, this release is done. We can iterate, so I think the ultimate purpose is that we need a release plan, so we can work it out. Yep. Thanks a lot, Nisha.
Yeah, thanks, Marcia.
Thank you.
And for PL gateway bypass, Sushant, can you give like a 2-liner for people who might not know like what that is, like from a customer perspective, what it is?
Yeah. So Azure has a very I think other public clouds also have. So we have something called an express route gateway, that whenever customers some of the customers that do want to come to Azure, but still want to maintain their on-premise deployments. So how do they connect from on-premise to Azure is via something called express route gateway. And then once they onboard to that, there is a special device through which their packets move from on-premise to Azure. Now that device is not very smart in the sense that let's say on the Azure side, if the destination is a private endpoint, that device doesn't know how to do that custom transformation so that packets going to a private endpoint get transformed properly or the way we want them to. It's like a very simple router, you can think of it, or a switch. So it doesn't know how to do those transformations. So now the question becomes, how do we enable the devices that customers have on their on-premise to reach, example, like private endpoints on the Azure side. So somebody has to sit in the middle and do this transformation. So what we do is our plan over here with the smart switch is that whenever customer has that like a gateway or an express route device, which is called MSCE device as well, what we do is we selectively identify on that device the destinations that are private endpoint and redirect only that traffic to these smart towers or smart switches, which know how to do the transformation so that packet can successfully go to private endpoint destinations. Now, so that's our very first goals, where today the customers from on-prem either cannot reach private endpoint, or first they have to deliver these packets to some Azure VM where they do these transformations and then go to private endpoints, which is like a slow path for us. So this is like a first class support for on the data path for doing these transformations in the smart switch or the smart top. Uh, does that help?
Yeah, and so and another benefit would be we could support more transformations, more endpoints, better performance than what we get today.
Exactly. Exactly. So today, another like you can think of today, in addition to those devices, customers also have virtual machines called gateway VMs. That because since those VMs are a part of Azure, we can do almost everything that is needed for any connectivity in virtual network on those VMs. But those VMs are expensive and slow. So we want to get rid of those VMs in the North Star. We actually want to move everything to these smart switches. So private endpoint transformation is the first one, but eventually we may move more and more functionality to the smart switches that today VMs are doing.
Yeah. Does that make sense to everyone on the call? That was great. Thank you. And I was just showing, some documentation around Express Route here and the MSCE, here on the edge. So as it is today, this is public documentation. So, okay, great. If we don't have anything else, then I guess it's 45 minutes already. Okay, I can give back 15 minutes if you guys like. Okay, I'll stop the recording.
Thanks, Christina.
And you guys have a good day. Thank you.
Christina.
Okay, have a good one. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.